Nacho Sundays, every Sunday at 6 p.m. Live on YouTube on the EBL exclusive Battle League Network. Hosted by Fibonacci Brown.
Nacho Sundays, Nacho Sundays, Nacho Sundays. Nacho Sundays, Nacho Sundays, Nacho Sundays. Nacho cheese, beefy, nacho veggie, nacho supreme, nacho Sunday.
Nacho Sundays.
Nacho
Where it's not your
Sunday.
opinion, it's Nacho's opinion.
Nacho
Hosted by
Sunday.
Fibonacci Brown.
Nacho Sundays. Nacho cheese, beefy, nacho veggie, nacho supreme,
Nacho Sundays. Where it's not your opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. Hosted by Fibonacci Brown.
Nacho Sundays. Nacho cheese, beefy, nacho veggie, nacho supreme, nacho Sundays. Nacho Sundays. Nacho Sundays. Nacho Sundays.
Hosted by Fibonacci Brown. Don't forget to go to FibonacciBrown.com to get your copy of Growing Down.
Nacho Sundays. Nacho Sundays.
Brought to you by the exclusive Battle League Network. EBL.
What up, though, family? Can y'all hear me? Is my sound good? Do I need to fix anything before we get started? I know a lot of times I have started and the sound was not on. Y'all like, listen, you've been talking for 5 minutes. We don't know what you said. But hold on one second. We had a few technical difficulties. I just want to check something really quick. So those of you who could, I hope you did. And the week before that, it was my husband's birthday. So is in our house, that's a holiday. And we definitely wanted to celebrate him. So we didn't do a Nacho Sunday show that day because I wanted to give him full attention on his day. And so that's what we did. So anywho, y'all know how we start the Nacho Sunday show where it's not your opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. I am your host, Fibonacci, Big Nacho Brown. And we're going to talk about it today. You know, I hope everybody's unwound, ready to devour a nacho. So you know how we do over here. Let's get the announcement started and then we're going to dig into it. First of all, we must always make sure that we are showing appreciation for EBL's very own Commodity. He has his own website, commodityproductions.com. Make sure you check him out. He does a lot of the behind the scenes tech in order to make sure a lot of the product or productions that EBL hosts by way of audio battle rap, that they go smoothly, as well as helping some of your other favorite battle rap platforms do the same thing. So shouts out to Commodity. Also, again, this is EBL exclusive Battle League. If it ain't exclusive, it don't matter. This is where the Nacho Sunday show was born. And we want to always make sure that we show homage to EBL exclusive Battle League and our fearless leader, King. I hope that he gets a chance to pop into the chat later today. Also, I am your host, Fibonacci Brown. I need you guys to make sure that you head over to FibonacciBrown.com because I am a published author. FibonacciBrown.com. I'm a published author, and I wrote the book Growing Down, an observation of the masculinization of the Black American woman. And you can still get your copy at the introductory rate. I have not changed it. You guys have been very good to me with purchasing this book. I had people who told me that he's like, we love the book. We've been reading through the book, but we can't wait for you to do audio. Please make sure you let us know when you do audio because we are going to cop the audio as well. So I want to make sure that I get on top of that for my readers. A lot of you guys have busy jobs. You don't always have time to sit down and read. So I do want to make sure that I am accommodating you. So I have heard you. And yes, I will be looking into getting that to you very soon. Also, I'm going to be hosting Nacho Sundays every Sunday at 6 p.m. That is the goal. If there's anything you'd love for me to talk about, hit me up on X, formerly known as Twitter. You can find me under Fibonacci Brown. And from there, let me know how you feel. Send me messages, send me your thoughts, your ideas, and we'll see what we can do to make sure we address you on the show every Sunday at 6 p.m. Also, I'm a rapper. I know you didn't think I ended up on a battle rap platform because of this space. I'm just playing with y'all. But yes, I am a rapper. I'm very serious about that. I have an album out right now with my husband called Scription Volume 2. Make sure you pick it up. You are missing out. If you like substance, if you like to hear that stuff that makes you think, you like entendres and metaphors, you like those raps that hit you 2 days later, like, wait a minute, did they say what I think they just said when they said what they said? We got that for you. So make sure you go hit us up and check out that Scription Volume 2. You can find that on all of your favorite platforms. That's YouTube, that's Apple Music, that's Spotify. Check us out. You'll see us in the native headdresses. And we can't wait to see the traffic on our channels to make sure that you guys are showing up so we can get you some more music. The more streams, the more things we'll be able to do to put out music for you guys. Anywho, last but not least, make sure that if you are hanging out on X, you are following Oflo Beats because he has beats, bars, and buds every week on X, formerly known as Twitter. It is one of the dopest freestyle shows on the net. If you think you have what it takes to freestyle on the spot and sound good, why don't you go let the legend Oflo hear you and he will decide. He also has minutes with the master. And if you want to get some pointers, if you want to see how it's done, you need to check him out. So Beats, Bars, and Buds on X, formerly known as Twitter, every week. Now, I think it's time I get over to my chat because I'm seeing a couple of faces I haven't seen in a while. I missed you guys. First and foremost, hey, Nacho Sundays. I appreciate you too. You know, every time you show up, you're my favorite. I'm liking to see you in the chat. Okay, anywho. Speaking of Oflo and Beats, Bars, and Buds, he is in the chat. He said, let's go. It's like 50 O's. If you're in the chat, you see it. Queen Mo Fire, the beautiful and the one and only, sends her love in the chat. I appreciate you, lady. You don't even know. To when I see you show up in the chat, it just I feel like a little warm and fuzzy, like, oh, Mo Fire's here. Like, I'll be excited. So I'm glad you showed up today. That made me smile. And we also have Trap Buddha with the Nacho. What's up, Trap? Thanks for pulling up to Nacho Sundays. We appreciate you. And the one and only Miss Vicious is also in the chat. Miss Vicious is, listen, if you are not following her career, if you have not been seeing these battles that she's been having where she has been doing fantastic, you are missing out. This is one of the fun things about battle rap is when you get to see something develop and grow into something so major, and you can just see the future in them. Like, oh, this is going to be fantastic. You are getting ready to blow. I feel that way about Miss Vicious. So I'm happy to see her rise, and I'm looking forward to great things for her. So thank you for joining us on Nacho Sundays, where it's not your opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. And as promised, we have a nacho to devour. We are going to start our nacho off with the nacho cheese. Now, for my nachotarians, you guys know that the nacho cheese is where we talk about our money, where we talk about how we can make our money work for us, or ways that we can use our money more wisely. And I'm hoping that some of the things that I'm sharing here on Nacho Sundays are working for you. If they are, make sure you let me know. I would love to share your stories on future episodes where we could talk about how some nacho cheese tips were able to help you get a couple of extra dollars in your pocket, whether you save money, whether you made money, however it happened. Let me know. I want to hear from you. This week, we are going to be talking about something going on in California. California lawmakers have passed a bill approving a $150,000 down payment to undocumented immigrant home buyers. Now, forgive me, but the term undocumented immigrant home buyers is new to me. I didn't think that existed. So, if I'm, late in the game, let me know in the chat. If I'm not, if I'm not with it and I'm not hip and this is something that, everybody knows about and I'm just the one who isn't caught up, let me know, because I have never in all my moons on this planet heard of anything called an undocumented immigrant home buyer. So in California, lawmakers have approved a bill to give them a $150,000 down payment toward buying a home. And Republicans are urging Governor Newsom to veto this measure, as they argue that it is a handout and a betrayal to the citizens of the state that will incentivize illegal immigration. I am inclined to definitely agree that will absolutely incentivize illegal immigration. If you don't have to be documented to be a home buyer, like, come on, what is going on in California? I'm not understanding that with the whole homelessness issue that I know is an issue in, is it LA where they have Skid Row? The state that is the home of Skid Row is willing to approve measures that give undocumented immigrant home buyers $150K to purchase a home. Why haven't they offered something like that to the homeless population in their own state? Why haven't the homeless people there been offered such a lucrative opportunity to gain an asset paid for by the state they live in? Like, I'm not sure if there's any tricks where, maybe the state owns some of your house for a couple of months, or I don't know. I've been to LA. I have seen firsthand the homelessness there. I'm sure some of you in the chat and some of you in my viewership, my Nacho Terrence, thank you guys for pulling up. I see my chat is lighting up a little bit. I appreciate you guys for pulling up. Thank you for joining us on Nacho Sundays, where it's not your opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. Anywho, I have been to LA, and I'm sure some of you guys have seen some of the clips where people have these extravagant outdoor homemade homes. They've got tents with several rooms, like you've got a bedroom, a living room, a den, a place where you shower or potty. They have like tents set up on the street like this. People live in communities on the street. They have their own language to let each other know where they can get food, or where it's safe to sleep for the night. They it's such an ingrained part of that area that these people have literally made it their home. It's not just one tent, it's literally a community of tents, because people live outdoors. And here it is, you have people who started out as citizens in this state, the state of California, and maybe they fell on hard times. Maybe something got snatched from under them where their financial stability didn't allow them to maintain their homes or maintain their assets, or just the minimum of being able to be clean and eat every day. And here, undocumented immigrants get a $150K to buy a home. When I'm quiet like that, y'all, I'm letting it marinate, because I can't believe it. I'm floored. I'm floored. How do you look over the people who are already in a position of needing a home to offer a home to people who aren't even here, and tell them you don't even need an ID before you can buy a house? Do better, California. I feel bad that they may have an immigration issue in that area that might require some immediate circumstances in order to not increase the homelessness issue. But I think it is, I agree that it is a slap in the face and a betrayal to the citizens. Even if you can't include the homeless in your own state in this undocumented $150K homeowner handout, I don't understand how it even gets through the governmental channels to be approved. I don't even understand. I don't get it. Oh, this is good, y'all. But I don't get it. I don't understand how something like that even happens. It doesn't make sense unless they are trying to make sure that they let you know, we don't care. We not. I don't know what you thought this was. We don't care. Because nothing says we don't care about you, then we will give people who ain't even here yet a place to live before we give you one. Because how would they maintain a home that has a $150,000 down payment? What kind of home is it? Why didn't you make that offer to your own American citizens on the streets? Why does something like that get supported by our government? Aren't the people in California outraged? Aren't you upset? Aren't you trying to understand why they are overlooking you in order to accommodate people who aren't even here yet? And when they get here, they don't even have to be documented. That's my flabbers are gasted. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. What could you do with $150,000 down payment on a house? And I know that some people are probably hearing what I'm saying, and they're like, no, that's nothing in California. You don't understand. But even if it was 50,000, 20,000, even if you scaled it to the state that you're in, there are plenty of homeless communities of people that could benefit from something like that. I just believe that the homeless population in California is a much larger population than in other places. And with that being said, it's just difficult for me to wrap my head around. And listen, this is Nacho Sundays, where it's not your opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. And in my opinion, how dare you, California lawmakers? How dare you look over your own citizens to accommodate people who don't even have to be documented to be here? How many homeless people did you step over to walk into that Capitol building and make that choice and that decision, or walk into that building where you moved your pen over that bill approving it? How many homeless people did you step over to do that? That sucks. Shame on y'all. Over here in my chat, let me see. Okay, Mr. Entertainment is in the building. Exclusive Battle League has pulled up. I appreciate you guys. Hey, Nacho Sundays, episode 14, season 2. Where it's not your opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. 21XL said it's all about creating unrest and division, then a reason to create a police state. I agree, because the government of California is saying we don't care about you. We could care less. We're going to usher in some new folks. We're going to make us some new best friends. So I agree with you too, Juan, because that's exactly what it looks like. That's what it looks like. It looks like they're trying to show you we don't care. So I'm not understanding it. Miss Vicious says, I'm here running errands, but yeah, where my 150K? Listen, and see, Miss Vicious, like myself, we are moms. We a lot of times are very in tune and close to the budget of the house. And she and I both know what we could do with 150K towards a down payment on a house. Listen, that would have been wonderful, but I'm trying to understand how they don't expect a decision like this to incentivize illegal immigration. How do they expect to stop that? Or is it that they don't care? Is it that they don't care? Like, help me understand, because I don't get it right now. 21 said, vax for citizenship coming soon for them. What? Is that what you think we're going to do next? Is that what you think is happening? Because I can kind of see that. I know that a lot of times when I've been looking at some of the content on immigrants who are just coming to the United States, and they're being asked questions about why the US, why did you decide to come here? What do you think? Blah, blah, blah. A lot of them are some of the only English they know is Biden. They're just Biden, Biden, Biden. Let's go Biden. So they already had it in their minds that that's the move they were going to make. So I could see that. And I really think that there is a push to replace certain votes that they think they're not going to get. And this whole, home ownership for 150K down from California, it smells a lot like, if you're a homeowner, you have an address, which means you can have a vote. So I don't know. I'm just saying. Wayne Almighty is in the building. Wayne said, dang, Nachi not playing with the hair today. Are y'all feeling the hair? I was running errands myself earlier, and I didn't have time to do too much to this hair, but if it's given, I'm not going to interrupt. So yes, this is what we're going to do, guys. We are at the halfway mark in our show. I am going to take a small break, as we do on the Nacho Sunday show. And after the break, we'll get back to you, and we're going to get into our beefy nacho. Now, for those of you who have been here, and my Nachotarians know that the beefy nacho is where we talk about conflict wherever it may exist in the world. And we're going to get into it when we come back for this break. So I'm going to see you guys in a second. Okay.
You are now listening to the Nacho Podcast, brought to you by the EBL Network. If it ain't exclusive, it don't matter.
A woman is the most potent expression of feminine energy in the harmonic equation of the human experience. Growing Down, an observation of the masculinization of the Black American woman. Volume 1. Get your copy at FibonacciBrown.com.
Niggawood Central. Make sure it's holy in your temple. You a vegetable when I'm in the room, and I'm vegetarian when I eat my food. Palms together when I pray on you, cause the chef about to use her favorite tool. Chop, cut, slice, dice. Shit, I ain't even got a knife. Seem like when I spell it in a rhyme, I cut a motherfucker up and serve him over rice.
You are now listening to the Nacho Podcast, brought to you by the EBL Network. If it ain't exclusive, it don't matter. It's not your time to talk, it's time to listen. So pull up to the table with your plate and pay attention. It's not your time to talk, not your Sunday. It's something different. This is not your opinion, and you don't wanna miss it. It's not your time to talk. Time for the show.
And we back, y'all. Before we get it out or into our beefy nacho, let me be the first to say that Wayne has reminded me that West Seattle Menace 2 is out. Make sure you check that out if you are at all familiar with the original first installment of West Seattle Menace by Wayne Almighty. You already know what to expect on volume 2. It is not letting you down. Please go and check out Wayne on YouTube, definitely, for West Seattle Menace 2. Now that we have made sure we made those acknowledgments, let's get into the beefy nacho. The beefy nacho is where we discuss conflict, and this week we are going to talk about Dr. Umar versus comedy. Dr. Umar made a challenge to D.L. Hughley, Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, and with a bonus dollop of Roland Martin. He challenged them, asking for a debate to discuss, is the Democratic Party still the best political position for Black people? And listen, I think it's a good question. Okay. I think it's a really good question. And I think it's a good way to draw attention to yourself, to bring together two areas that may not always get to collide. And what I mean by that is that Dr. Umar calls himself the King Kong of consciousness. He is one of the most vocal scholars when it comes to issues concerning Black boys, Black children, the psychology of the Black position and experience in America. And he has made statements that range from dating outside of your race to polygamy. So, and everything in between. And I will say this, I was very turned off by some of the experiences surrounding Dr. Umar and his school aspirations. I'm not going to get into that here. If you know, you know. However, since a lot of that controversy, from what I understand, have finished a lot of the school, and they are looking to get an occupancy permit, and we may actually be able to see that school come to fruition. So I'm not asking anybody to hold their breath. I'm just saying. And the reason I'm just saying is because, as I told you at the top of the segment, Dr. Umar challenged Ricky Smiley, Steve Harvey, and D.L. Hughley, and with a bonus dollop of Roland Martin, to a debate asking if the Democratic Party is still the best political position for Black people. And Steve Harvey decided to be his approach to responding to this is that, you know, he don't do anything for $10,000. You know how he get to turning his mouth down and pressing his lips up to his face so they look extra big so he can make his point with that extra hairline of a mustache he got. And I don't think that he even caught what Umar was saying. He described in his video when he made this challenge that the 10,000 was offered to him. Not to say that Steve Harvey or any of the other mentioned comedians were offered 10,000. So the fact that he didn't even catch it just made it look like, yeah, you know, you never catch it. You're the same dude that announced the wrong pageant winner. Like, I'm not surprised. So, you know, moving on, Steve, like you did the Steve to it. Moving on to, I don't think that Ricky Smiley responded. If he did, I haven't heard it. I was just, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little like secondhand ashamed for Ricky Smiley because of how he cried and was so angry, chastising Black people who didn't agree with him, as if we can't be intelligent enough to have opinions different than his, and his arrogance and solidarity and being entitled to, I know I'm right, you know, just I don't care because I know I'm right. And tell me you're not willing to entertain any other perspectives without telling me you're not willing to entertain any other perspectives. Like, it was just, like I said, I had secondhand shame for him. But D.L. Hughley, you know, D.L. Hughley has disappointed me before with some of the things that he said, and I just don't understand where some of that comes from. But you know, he didn't let us down this time. He decided to tell Dr. Umar, and I'm paraphrasing here, but you guys can definitely go look up the actual quote. But D.L. Hughley said he will accept the challenge from Dr. Umar when Dr. holds the debate in the cafeteria of his school, where they are giving out free lunch and the kids are wearing free uniforms paid for by all the donations he's taken in over the years. And while he thought that, you know, he was being a comedian and also kind of trying to take a direction off of the actual question, he ended up being put in a position where he had to be very quiet and hasn't responded since, because Dr. Umar responded back to DL, accepting the challenge and advising that as for that school that he took in all those donations for and all of the money that he was supposed to have had, you know, from all of the people that donated to actually buy a building, Dr. Umar said that he accepts the challenge because the gymnasium and the cafeteria were two of the first areas to be renovated when they purchased the physical school, and that he would be more than delighted to be able to host such an event in his school, and that he would like to get in touch with DL to find out 3 tentative dates that work for him so that they can make sure to build the schedule and the itinerary around his availability. We haven't heard anything from DL since. So I'm asking you guys, do you think that Umar was wrong? Do you think that DL was right and got a funny out of it and it doesn't really matter? Do you think Steve Harvey had it correct and was like, you know, it just don't make enough money to make his radar? He don't care. He's not asking hard questions. He's trying to play the money game. Or do you think Ricky Smiley was correct in, you know, how ignorant must us Black people be if we don't see how symbolic and wonderful it will be to have a sorority in the White House, or a fraternity in the White House that is part of the Divine Nine. You know, somehow Black people should be mesmerized by this, according to Ricky Smiley. So, you know, or, and listen, this is a big or, because again, this is Nacho Sundays, where it's not your opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. And in my opinion, I'm not a fan of Umar in the sense of some of his ideologies surrounding polygamy and things like that. I will admit that definitely a sour taste in my mouth about the funds that contributed to the school that he wanted to build, this super school, super mega school. I was very put off about how some of the transparency that we were given didn't line up with the expectation. And because I didn't have all of the details, I didn't know where that feeling should fit into the process. Because people had donated, they felt like you owe me some transparency. They felt like they didn't get enough. However, I think that some of the ideals and perspective that Dr. Umar gives when it comes to the Black experience are dead on. I think that he absolutely understands what's happening in those areas when he speaks on them, from politics to the psychology on Black boys in our school systems. So for me, as a Black woman, I haven't really seen a lot of strong masculine Black energy in politics. And I'm speaking specifically about the Black experience because in this country, I'm considered a Black woman. Now, when they allow me to check copper colored and ancient American, I'll be clicking on those boxes. But until then, that's how I'm identifying. And I don't see masculine Black energy in politics. I don't see no Fred Hampton energy. I don't see no Malcolm X energy. I don't see any masculine energy that makes me feel protected. I see a lot of energy that makes me feel related to, and that can be dangerous when it comes to Black men relating to Black women in politics. I don't want the man that can relate to me on, and that's the climax of the relationship, is that we relate to one another. I want a man that can be independent of me, solidly in his masculinity, understanding his position on the forefront of the things that come to threaten the community and be powerful in that role. And the anger that Dr. Umar had about some of the discussion surrounding the Democratic Party and is that the best position for Black people, I think was misinterpreted, because people tend to assume that anytime a Black man is angry, it's a bad thing. And me personally, again, this is Nacho Sundays. Your opinion is Nacho's opinion. Me personally, I am not of the thought that just because a Black man is angry, he's wrong. I am of the thought that if you've pissed a Black man off, you might want to try to find a way to work through that problem instead of both sides being in anger. And I think that when you have a man who can articulate himself, who can be angry and put it into a communication style that isn't disrespectful, matches the passion of the issue, and is clear in what the issue is, coupling that with actually having a solution, I'm not mad at that at all. Even if the solution isn't good. I know I have a thinker. I know I have something outside of themselves because they are considering the impact on all of us as Black people. And I'm not mad that Dr. Umar decided to make this challenge and use that aggression to call out comedians who for some reason think that their ideologies on having their fingers on the pulse of Black people are the ones that should prevail when it comes to things like politics. I'm not into always being guided by people who make jokes for a living, people who are critical for a living. I can understand being critical of a circumstance or an ideology or doing things to make people laugh, but I think there's also a responsibility there to say, you know what, I'm an entertainer. I need to stay in my entertainment lane and stop thinking that I get to use my platforms to chastise people I believe look like me into doing what I want them to do. It's out of line. If you are asked about your opinion, I don't think there's anything wrong with giving your opinion if you're asked, but to get to the point where you're chastising people for not agreeing with your opinion, or you feel you want to try to make people seem like they are less than you or beneath you just because they don't agree with you and you are in the entertainment lane, I think you need to reevaluate what you do and kindly and respectfully stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. DL, Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, y'all had a whole lane in comedy. You decided to get on the radio, and now all of a sudden you think that you are the heartbeat of the opinions of Black people. Please continue making us laugh in the morning. That's the time when a lot of us needed to be able to loosen up to go out and face the world. Don't start harassing us with your opinion, thinking you can put us down and make us laugh, and put us down and make us laugh, and put us down and make us laugh. And we don't wise up to the roller coaster of how ignorant that is and how it pulls us away from the real issues and the real thought processes we need to be in order to make the right decisions that lead the community into the correct places that it needs to go. We don't need to be following behind you. That's not what your job is. You be worried about the wrong things. I can't remember which one of them said it, but they said that the Q dogs run the radio. So what? What are you doing with it? What do the Q dogs do on the radio that they're running? I'm asking, because if it's chastising people that look like you, if it's trying to make sure we feel beneath you, if it's trying to make us laugh so that we don't stay focused on the issues, no, thank you. Keep it Q's. This is Nacho Sundays, where it's not your opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. And I said what I said. I did. And I think that all three of them together are deflecting for the same reasons. Now, Roland Martin was mentioned when Umar made his challenge. He said that if they wanted to bring Roland Martin with them during the debate, they could. Roland Martin has always come off as very soft and talkative to me. I think he's more impressed with his ability to maybe articulate what he thinks is an issue, and doesn't really have an intention of making headway by way of solutions. I think he's impressed with hearing himself. He thinks he's got an angle on somebody. I think he's impressed with how he thinks he can take that angle. And it tends to me to turn me off from wanting to hear any additional commentary from him. Going forward, I think that people like Dr. Umar need more minds to sharpen certain ideologies, because those are the type of ideologies that cause us to think. I believe the Roland Martins, the D.L. Hugleys, the Steve Harveys, they're not trying to encourage us to think. They don't want us to be thinkers. They want us to feel, they want to guilt us and want to make us feel bad about not agreeing with their opinion. And they're paid for opinions, however they're getting paid, whether it's attention, whether it's cash, whether it's perks, however they think they're gaining something by doing what they're doing, they're all doing the same thing. And it doesn't seem beneficial to me as a Black woman. It doesn't seem beneficial to me for the Black community. And considering Steve Harvey has said on other occasions that it's all about the money game, I don't believe that he would ever have the interest of Black people. I think that he meant what he said when he said the best thing you can do for poor people is not be one of them. That to me lets me know he's not interested in trying to educate anybody to be able to pull themselves up or to be able to make different choices that can really turn into something, like maybe hosting a financial seminar, since you know the money game. I don't see any of these comedians doing something that would encourage a real move forward towards maybe the Black people that they would like to hang around. But here we are taking our political cues from entertainers. It's ridiculous. So with that said, I'm gonna slide over to the chat and see who has joined us. Greg the Great, I made it. That's what he got in the chat. He says, sorry for my tardiness. I'm at work. Listen, we appreciate that you are at work and are joining us. No need to apologize. Thank you for spending your Sunday with us on Nacho Sundays, where it's not your opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. We have the Smoke of New York. Salute, Nacho. Hope all is well, Queen. Thank you. Smoke of New York, I appreciate you pulling up. And yes, all is well. Thank you for asking. And with that said, we are going to get into the rest of our nacho. The next section to devour in our nacho is the veggie nacho. And in the veggie nacho, as my nachotarians may know, we talk about health. This week in the veggie nacho, we are talking about doctors are not what they used to be. Now, I want to talk to you guys about what brought this topic on. Okay. I can remember maybe several years ago, someone I know went to a doctor's office. They were concerned about being on metformin. They had heard some bad things about metformin, wanted to look into some options. And in doing that, they had mentioned it to their doctor, and their doctor asked them, maybe we can put you on Ozempic. So this person, being my friend, they like, let me look into it. Let me let you know later. They contacted me. Hey, Nacho, you know anything about Ozempic? I just talked to my doctor. This is what they're suggesting as something I can do in place of the metformin I've been taking. And I was kind of like, no, I haven't really heard of Ozempic at the time. And I looked into it. There wasn't a lot that I could get my hands on by way of reviews because it was still kind of new. But I did notice several years later, fast forward to today, and Ozempic is a whole meme out here for people, making people drop weight like meth. Okay, so I was concerned because what if my friend would have decided to take that Ozempic way back then? And you see people out here disappearing as we speak that's on this stuff. And I'm starting to see ads where you can get Ozempic delivered straight to your home. Talk to your doctors about Ozempic to help you lose weight. Like, I'm trying to understand, why is Ozempic a diabetic drug being offered for weight loss? And then it dawned on me that diabetes seems to be one of those ailments where the doctor is encouraged to offer you other drugs, other prescriptions, just because the diagnosis is diabetes. So it's like, oh, you've got diabetes, you probably got high blood pressure, and you probably also have high cholesterol. So in addition to this diabetes medication, we're going to put you on metformin or metformin, or we're going to put you on insulin. And we're also going to give you atorvastatin for your high cholesterol. And then we're going to put you on this high blood pressure medication because these things usually show up together. Not that they've tested you for anything, not that you've shown signs of having it at all, but just because you got diagnosed with one thing, you got treated for three things. That I thought about how many times people would actually start taking these meds without actually being diagnosed for anything. How many people started just popping a atorvastatin because their doctors told them, oh, you've got high cholesterol, or you might have high cholesterol, but you have diabetes, so this is preventative. And then some of those same people going to another doctor and the doctor saying, oh, you're on atorvastatin, you have high cholesterol. I was like, well, I've never been told I have high cholesterol. This is just something my doctor said I should have because I'm diabetic. Oh, well, the atorvastatin will protect your kidneys from the medication you're taking for your diabetes. What? How so? Well, atorvastatin protects your kidneys from the side effects of the metformin. So even if I wasn't suffering from high cholesterol, I should still be taking atorvastatin because the metformin I'm taking for my diabetes is damaging my kidneys, and somehow atorvastatin protects that. See how that goes together? But then this is what they don't tell you about the side effects of the atorvastatin, because now you find out that the metformin is attacking your kidneys or depleting your kidney function, but then you find out the atorvastatin might be depleting the cholesterol around your brain. Okay? What is it when you have depleted cholesterol around your brain? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's what they're trying to call diabetes 3. Which is Alzheimer's. So it's concerning to me that we have doctors who are prescribing medications for their side effects, but those medications impacting other functionality of the human body that isn't in need of impact. I don't need the cholesterol being depleted around my brain because you're trying to protect my kidneys from the medicine I'm taking for my diabetes. I don't want to have a side effect of getting rail thin because I'm taking Ozempic to try to lose weight when it's really a diabetic medication. Look at what the side effects outside of losing weight could be for Ozempic, because if you have diabetes, you have an issue where the sugar in your system is not being processed in order to turn into the energy you need for your body functionality. So if this Ozempic was a diabetic medication initially, and it should be impacting the functionality of sugars in your body, just because you're losing weight doesn't mean that it's fantastic. You need to look up what it's doing. Even if you're not diabetic, what is it doing to the sugar in your, what's happening to your body outside of you losing weight? Do you just care that you're losing weight? Or, do you care about these other side effects? Because a lot of times when you look up and find out, hey, my metformin, I think it stopped working. It's not working like it used to. You look up and you might have a vitamin B deficiency. And again, everyone, this is Nacho Sundays, where it's not your opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. And what I'm saying is you need to make sure that if somebody's giving you a prescription, you look up the side effects for those prescriptions, and you also look at what it's doing to your body. It's not about the side effects you like. I don't care. It's making me lose weight. So what? And you look up in 5 years, you're on a midnight infomercial. Did you take Ozempic between the years of 2022 and 2025? You may be entitled to money. Call our office. You don't want to be that person because you thought you was losing weight and being cute because you got your BBL, thought you could eat everything you wanted to. You couldn't. You needed to lose weight again. You got too skinny. Now all of a sudden, the Ozempic you was taking to get skinny has given you something that has nothing to do with the BBL or you being big. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to be on a late night infomercial entitled to a class action lawsuit that's probably going to give you $200 because you want to take something for the side effects? The fact that you're not even being prescribed something for directly what you may be ailing from is a red flag. Red flag. So I'm alarmed at how many doctors I'm seeing who don't really spend time with the patients like they used to really customize a medical treatment plan that actually works. It seems that they are looking for shortcuts to give patients what they want. And I think that is encouraged by commercials for medications that have the ending of that commercial saying, ask your doctor if such and such is right for you. We didn't used to do that. We didn't go in looking for the drugs. Yeah, I saw new Umflufafloof on TV. You know, I've been having headaches. Maybe I should try Umflufafloof. You know, well, Umflufafloof is it's a osteoporosis, but it works great on migraines. What is it going to do outside of fix my migraine? Is that the only side effect? Just the ones I like? Like, you've got to be able to have an educated conversation with your doctors. You've got to be able to talk to your doctors in a way to let them know that you care about you and your health. And you cannot let them dictate to you the newest, latest drugs that are out there, because they don't know the side effects any more than you do. They are practicing. You go into your doctor's office, it is your doctor's practice. So if you're not going to research these medicines for yourself, and, you know, again, this is Nacho Sundays, where it's not your opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. If you're going to research the med, research where they get it from. It might be growing in your yard. It might be right outside your back porch. You know, you think it's a weed, and turns out, oh, this is what you need. So with that said, let me slide over to my chat for a second. I see Miss Vicious has joined us. She said that meds beget meds. Listen, you get it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there are too many avenues to keep you on a medication than there are to get you off of one. And if they're not going to get you addicted, they're going to get you in routine. So that's one way or another, you're going to continuously be taking some kind of medication to keep pharmacia in business. So just because, you know, well, I'm not addicted to my blood pressure medicine. No, but they make sure you have to take it every day by making sure they refill that prescription every 30 days or however quickly you run out. And while you're going to get it every day, they're getting money every day from it. So addicted or prescripted, it's the same thing. OG Scoundrel has checked in. Hi, OG. Hello to the family. I hope all is well. Thank you for pulling up to Nacho Sundays. And with that said, we're going to move into the last portion of our Nacho, which is the Nacho Supreme. The Nacho Supreme is the knowledge nugget, where we give nuggets that can help us get through this thing called life, things we wish we would have known when we were younger, that we can do better. And this week, the Nacho Supreme knowledge nugget is take care of yourself sometimes means secluding from others. And what that means is that you have to take time for yourself. Sometimes you have to get used to your own company. Sometimes you need to be alone with your own thoughts and be able to hear yourself from the inside. And you shouldn't be afraid to separate yourself from people in order to be able to gain that kind of perspective about yourself. A better you means that you can be a better person to those around you. And ultimately, I would believe that that's what you would want anyway. So don't be afraid to seclude yourself. Don't be afraid to take some time for yourself to be able to gather your thoughts, collect yourself. Gathering your thoughts is a real thing. Sometimes you don't even know you have all these thoughts running around in your brain constantly on fast forward all the time, until you are actually not trying to fall asleep, but just trying to be quiet and still in a waking moment. And sometimes when you're able to just quiet your mind for a few minutes a day, especially if you can do it in the beginning of the day, it allows the rest of your day to follow a pattern of being organized throughout the day. It sets a tone for having collected thoughts, for being able to have organized thoughts. And you'd be surprised how peaceful that is to be able to get through a day. If you are already on edge, one little thing can send you flying off the handle, and then you're not, you undone yourself for the day. Your energy is spent, your mood is spent. You might still have things to do, but if you can ease your mind in the morning by being able to take some time for yourself, collect yourself, settle your thoughts, collect your thoughts, you can definitely send a ripple out through the rest of your day in order to add peace to your day so that things run smoothly for you. So with that said, I see some folks in the chat. Miss Vicious said, like WeKia, not Pharmakia. She said it like IKEA, not Pharmakia. Miss Vicious is trying to tease me on my own show. Y'all see what I put up with? Anywho, that has been our Nacho Sundays show for today. Thank you guys for pulling up. I appreciate you. And thank you for watching Nacho Sundays, where it's Nacho opinion is Nacho's opinion. And we're going to be back next Sunday to chop it up again. And please, 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 by all means, check me out on social media. Reach out to me and let me know your thoughts, maybe some things you'd like for me to touch on and talk about, or some ingredients you'd like me to add to the nacho. Don't be afraid to let me know, and I will work that into the future episodes. And with that said, y'all, I holla. See you later, alligator.
You are now listening to the Nacho Podcast, brought to you by the EBL Network. If it ain't exclusive, it don't matter. It's not your time to talk, it's time to listen. So pull up to the table with your plate and pay attention. It's not your time to talk. Nacho Sunday is something different. This is not your opinion, and you don't want to miss it. It's not your time to talk.
Nigga was central. Make sure it's holy in your temple. You a vegetable when I'm in the room, and I'm vegetarian when I eat my food. Palms together when I pray on you, cause the chef about to use her favorite tool. Chop, cut, slice, dice. Shit, I ain't even got a knife. Seem like when I spell it in a rhyme, I cut a motherfucker up and serve him over rice.
You ain't the only one of the usual cashews like you fire. But since Miko's nuts too, I call this stir fry. Talk that, I'm licking my lips. This kind of beef my favorite shit. Scrimmage anonymous. Like, nigga, who you playing with? That's a meal, you haters. Healthiest meal you ain't ages. The way I see through the bullshit numbers I'm eating.